up, everyone? So we are kicking off Holy Week by doing a series of devotionals that lead us up to Easter. And so every day this week, I'm going to be posting a video that go along with the devotions that Revision posted yesterday. And so we're going to start off today with the Monday, April 6th devotion. I want you to know you can follow along with me. Like, these videos aren't meant for you to just watch me do a devotion or listen to me talk about a devotion. This is really meant for us to be able to do this devotion together. And so I'm going to be going through it step by step with you. Hopefully it won't take too long, but I just want to provide this space where we can just answer these questions together. We can get into God's Word together as we look forward to Easter on Sunday. And so for today, Monday, April 6th, it says, if today is your first family Easter experience, begin by decorating a worshipful space in your home to use throughout the week. Set up a small table or surface to display the items used each day. Include a Bible, one or more candles. Consider stringing white lights on a tree branch or backdrop, something like that. Light the candles and turn on the lights during your daily experience to make your time feel special. So, here's the table we'll be working with. I don't know, I'm at the office. I don't know how many candles we necessarily have, but I do know that we have a few Eastery things that I might be able to work with. So, hang with me. All right, so we got our space for the week. Again, we're making do with what we have, but this is going to be our Easter spot for the week. So to get into this devotion for today, it says start by reading Mark 14, 1 through 9. And so I have it here. It says, in only 2 days, the 8-day festival of Passover and the Feast of Unleavened Bread would begin. The high priests and religion scholars were looking for a way they could seize Jesus by stealth and kill him. They agreed that it should not be done during Passover week. We don't want the crowd up in arms, they said. Jesus was at Bethany, a guest of Simon the leper. While he was eating dinner, a woman came up carrying a bottle of very expensive perfume. Opening the bottle, she poured it on his head. Some of the guests became furious among themselves. That's criminal, a sheer waste. This perfume could have been sold for well over a year's wages and handed out to the poor. They swelled up in anger, nearly bursting with indignation over her. But Jesus said, leave her alone. Why are you giving her a hard time? She has just done something wonderfully significant for me. You will have the poor with you every day for the rest of your lives. Whenever you feel like it, you can do something for them. Not so with me. She did what she could when she could. She pre-anointed my body for burial. And you can be sure that wherever in the whole world the message is preached, what she did is going to be talked about admiringly. And so this next section, it says, think about it. The woman in today's story knew Jesus was special. She arrived at Simon's house, probably uninvited, with a jar of expensive perfume, which she poured on Jesus' head, which is an interesting way to show love for her teacher. The people watching did not understand what the woman was doing, but Jesus said her story would be remembered forever. And here we are still reading it today. And so the first question out of the 4 here, it says, what did the woman do for Jesus, and what did the people watching think about it? And if you remember, she poured out that oil. Again, it was super expensive. I was reading out of the Message, but in other translations, it uses a word that talks about what would cost over a year's wages. Like, think about all that you earn in a year and then pouring that out over Jesus, like giving that to him. But instead of it being seen as an act of service, which is what she meant it for, there's this group of people watching saying, like, what? How could you do that? Like, people reacting in anger, and that's pretty interesting to me. What did Jesus say about the woman's actions, and how is she preparing Jesus? And so Jesus, he saw this act of service, at least from what I could tell. Just how he responded in love was pretty cool. He says to the people, like, leave her alone. Why are you giving her a hard time? Like, she's just done something wonderfully significant for me. And just like how they would prepare kind of a body for burial in a way, this was symbolizing what Jesus was going to do for us. And I don't even know that the woman knew she was doing that. But Jesus kind of was foreshadowing, like, hey, I'm going to the grave for you, and you don't even see it now. You're getting angry about perfume. Like, I'm literally going to change the world forever. And so that's kind of crazy. The religious leaders, they're scheming to kill Jesus from verses 1 and 2, where they're talking about how they're looking away. They could seize Jesus and kill him, but agreed that it shouldn't be over Passover week. Do you think Jesus knew about their plan? If I had to go out on a limb, probably. God of the universe knows people's thoughts. So I'd guess yes. He knew it was coming. And then, what is the most extravagant, over-the-top thing you have ever done to show your love for Jesus? Which I think that's a good question for all of us to think about. And yeah, I'm trying to think here. If I was to pinpoint it, I mean, there's stories of like raising money to go on missions trips, or like preaching his word or making videos. Like those things come to mind, but I don't know. I'm also, as I think, like the most extravagant for me aren't necessarily like the big things that I've done, like raise money to come be a pastor at Revision, raise money for a missions trip or going on a missions trip, or those types of things. I think they fit that. Like those are things that I've done to show my love for Jesus and to share that with others. But some of the biggest things that I think just out of my own like prideful heart are the little things, like when no one's watching, like giving the few dollars that I have in my wallet to the guy who's standing in the corner who needs it, or going out of my way to help someone when they don't even realize it, or serving someone and lifting them up, without the recognition, without the, like, it's easy when you're raising money to tell people like these are all the amazing things I'm gonna do, but it's a lot harder to just give freely when I know, like, well, no one's here to tell me I'm doing a good job. And so I maybe I can't pick one exact moment, but I think some of the most extravagant things I've done, like out of my heart to show love for Jesus, are those times when no one's watching, and the times that I've just felt a burden in my own heart to love the people around me without any little bit of praise or thumbs up or attaboys for doing it, solely because I feel this burden in my heart, like I need to help, I need to serve, so I'm going to do that whether anyone's watching or not. I think those have been some of the most extravagant moments for me in my life. And so I encourage you, that those are kind of my reactions and thoughts to these talk about it questions, to either at the end of the video or pause right now to walk through those for yourself and just kind of process what we read together, what we talked about, and just be able to take some time for yourself on those questions. Don't just take my word for it, or don't just count my thoughts as good enough. But the last thing here to wrap up this Devo is family activity. Bring a bottle of body spray or perfume to your worship area. It could also be a room freshener or other fragrance. Have one person lightly spray the fragrance in the air so that everyone can smell it. And as an optional addition to today's activity, you might want to decorate the container with fancy paper or sticky jewels. Leave the bottle or fragrance on the table to remember today's story. So, let's see what I can find. All right, so I couldn't find any air freshener, but we did have this bottle of Windex, so decorated it, put some hearts on it, spray it up. It doesn't quite work the same, but I'll leave it here for us to remember this week. So thanks for tuning in to the first devotion. We're going to be doing the whole rest of them leading up to Easter. So every single day we're going to be back here going through these devotions that Mike posted for us on the revision page. So if you weren't following along with the specific devotion, you can look ahead, click the link in the description to get a list of all of our devotions so you can follow along with me tomorrow. We'll see you then. Bye.